All right, welcome everyone. Episode of Daily Rates with the Mortgage Calculator. Today we will be viewing all of our live rates. It's just after 4 p.m. Eastern, so a lot of our partners have published their rates for today, so we can check out all of the different programs. And we'll be going into a deep dive, a couple of our most popular requests, which is going to be for down payment assistance. So I'll have a couple specific examples, even for a specific home, that we can pull up and review in order to visualize what exactly these programs look like. So we'll get started here in just a second. If you have any questions while we're going through the presentation, or you'd like a full breakdown of all the fees involved for your specific situation, please get with one of our team members. We have over 100 licensed loan officers in 35 states, and they'd be happy to help you out, or you can just visit our website there. So let me go ahead and started it with the presentation today. So thanks everyone for joining us. My name is Nick Hershey. I'm the president of the Mortgage Calculator. We are a lender that offers all kinds of different loan programs and specialize of a little bit outside the box. I'd love to highlight in our program for today. So the option we're going to go over is going to be our down payment options. We typically pair those with our FHA loan options. So that's going to be our specific examples for today. But as we do every day, we will still go over all of the different common requests. So let me go to my screen and we'll check out today's live rates. Now, what I always want to pull up is the 10-year Treasury a little bit. So we see here in the last 5 days a lot of activity up and down, a lot of different news. Everybody's seen in the news cycle here, politics going on. And the 10-year Treasury typically tracks with mortgage rates, and it's the most easily accessible and visualizable option that tracks with basically all the different mortgages. Of course, there are more complex measures we can use, but what I always want to do is put this into perspective. So even though we've had a lot of up and down action, we're still basically at one of those years. Definitely still a great opportunity for everybody to take advantage of these one-year lows. And as we'll go over today, all of our different programs have sweet options. So we'll get into today's live rates. Let me go ahead and refresh the page since we just hit after 12 noon and make sure we have the latest. So to compare across all the different programs, we always want to make sure we use a standard scenario. So we have a single family home, $500,000 purchase price, $300,000 loan amount. That corresponds to 60% loan to value, FICO 760 FICO, and 40% debt to income ratio in order to compare all these programs side by side. When we go into our deep dive, we can go into maximizing the LTV and all the go in with the different variations we have. So first up, we always want to look at our conventional primary option. So that's what everybody thinks of when they think of a mortgage, a Fannie Mae or a Freddie Mac option typically. And our standard 30-year fix coming in at 5.875 today. Final APR 6.135. Not much change since yesterday, or actually on Monday last time we did the show. And we typically want to compare that with an FHA option. So FHA allows a little more leniency on credit issues as well as a higher debt to income ratio, but does require upfront mortgage insurance. So FHA coming in today, 5.25 rate. Final APR with all the fees included, 6.157. So notice it's a touch higher than conventional. Even though the rate looks lower, there are additional fees to consider. So always look at that APR, compare side by side. And next up is our VA loan options for our eligible vets and active service members, spouses, of course. These options are amazing. VA standard 30-year fix coming in today, 5.49. And with a standard funding fee here, APR comes in at 5.732. So for our eligible VA members here, definitely a great option to look at when you compare the APR, even though the rate seems a little bit high. With all the fees included, great benefit for our VA borrowers. The APR comes in much lower. So always look at those VA options if they are available to you. And the final option for our government programs, USDA. Those are USDA eligible areas, typically the rural areas of the country. And for our borrowers are eligible for those programs, these are great options to consider. USDA 30-year fix coming in today, 5.125 rate. Final APR with all the fees included, 5.802. So typically if our customer is comparing a USDA option to or conventional, in this case, the USDA is going to be a great option with a lower overall APR. So definitely look at those options. And this is where we to some of the items we specialize in here at the Mortgage Calculator. So we love to do our non-QM loan programs. So this first option here for our non-QM alt doc option for our self-employed borrowers. Bank statements, 1099s, P&L, different options here to expand our documentation options. And for a primary home, we can get rates as low as 5.87. And you see here the final APR comes in at 6.145. A little bit more cost here for a non-QM option, but almost identical to conventional if we're comparing side by side. And it allows our borrowers to use expanded documentation options. You can also use our alt doc options for investment properties. So to use our bank statements, 1099s, P&Ls, etc. Investment property rates today for a standard 30-year fix come in at 6%. Final APR 6.321 here. And we always want to compare that to our conventional options for an investment property coming in today at 6% flat. Final APR 6.311. So our conventional is just a touch in our alt doc options. We're even closer here on investment properties. So great option for our investors out there. And our favorite investor product, our DSCR, stands for debt service coverage. We don't need any income information or any employment information. We simply use the estimated rents from the rental property to determine a DSCR ratio. So these examples here have a DSCR ratio over 1. And this first example, the most common, has a 3-year prepayment penalty. This is pretty common for these investor products, but we do have options with no prepay available. Our 3-year prepay comes in today at 6% flat. Final APR 6.284. So it actually beats conventional by a touch to use DSCR as long as we're adding that 3-year prepay. Absolutely amazing. And we can add a 5-year prepayment to sweeten the deal here. Rates go to 5.875 and the final APR drops to 6.157 when we prepayment penalty, which beats conventional alt doc. Everything there for our investors, which is amazing. And as I mentioned before, we do have no prepayment penalty option there for the DSCR. Rates come in at 6%. Final APR 6.321, so just a touch higher than our conventional option to use DSCR for income. So amazing option for our investors there. And of course, we do have second mortgage options and a ton of different options. Feel free to check out our website to get all of the breakdown, all the programs we offer. But our DPA for today is going to be for our borrowers out there that are looking for down payment assistance. So these are our very common requests. And as usual, I want to make sure I have an example. So I found a property here in the area, a nice reasonable cost here, $450,000 purchase price for a nice small home. And I use that for the estimate here. So the first option we set up is our repayable option. So this allows us to reach 100% LTV with 3.5% down payment assistance that is repayable. So this option you see here comes in at 6.125 rate on discount point and costs and allows us to get this full $15,750 for down payment assistance put into the loan for us in this option. And we scroll down here, we see all the different details. You see I use that exact property and the final loan amount, etc. And you see here we added the second mortgage, the payment second mortgage for those down payment assistance funds. We have to add that to the loan. We're going to have to pay a minimum of $131 per month. It is a 9.99% option there, and it is a 30-year fixed loan. Now, we have another option where we do have a forgivable option. So this allows our customer to attain 100% LTV and get the full 3.5% of down payment required as forgivable down payment assistance. So notice in the fine print here, this still must be repaid if the home is refinanced or sold within the first 60 months. So this is a 60-month option. But if not refinanced and no 90-day lates, the DPA loan is fully forgiven after 5 years or 60 months. So this is a great option. Obviously, a little bit of cost and rate. But for our borrowers that want to have a fully forgivable option, this is pretty amazing. So rates come in today, 7.5%. Discount 1% as well. So that way we can compare side by side. It shows the same cost. And that gets us, again, the full $15,000 down payment. But notice there's no extra payable loan here. We don't have to pay that every month. And as long as we do not make late payments on the mortgage, that is fully forgiven after 5 years. So these are amazing options for our borrowers that need a little bit of extra help there and want to use the down payment assistance. We have a ton of other options as well. There are options for 5% assistance, 2% assistance. There's options for conventional to add to this. There are options for all kinds of different programs. But these are our most common options to pair DPA that is either forgivable or non-forgivable with our FHA programs. So that ends our show for today. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I just see a couple people saying hello. Thanks for tuning in. But if you have any questions, again, please get with one of our team members. We have over 300 loan officers that would be happy to send you a full breakdown of all the quote information for your exact scenario. So thanks everyone for joining us, and feel free to visit our website to check out your own live rates and start